now your product from a pen, now it became a smart pen. And that is the auto way on try to always change your product in different way. Your research is supposed to tell you what are people searching for, and then you can turn that into the trend that is coming up.
Welcome to another episode of What's Working in E-commerce. I'm your host, Eagan Heath. I'm the owner of Caravan Digital. We're a direct-to-consumer e-commerce agency, and we help our clients sell more of their products through their website using Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Instagram Ads, and email marketing. Today, I have on Dylan Lam. He's over in England, and he has a company called Omirank, and they work with Amazon sellers to diversify away from the platform and sell more basically on other platforms. So Dylan, thank you so much for coming on.
Hi everyone. Hi Eagan. Thank you for having me on the podcast. So how are you doing?
Good. So good. Thank you for coming on and sharing. Now, I understand Kickstarter is a big piece of what you help people do. Talk to us a little bit about, who you're working with. They're already selling products on Amazon. Obviously, there's been a lot of challenges on Amazon lately. It's not easy to be a seller there. And then you kind of help them think about a Kickstarter strategy. Am I understanding that right?
Yes, it is. So in today's, like in 2023, there's just quite hectic for seller, either new seller or old seller, to continue selling on Amazon. Well, don't get me wrong, selling on Amazon is still the way to go. As in, like it will for sure generate a lot of traffic. But then it's all about not putting all the eggs in one basket. And this is how we are able to come up a solution for them to have them to diversify all the channel, not just focusing on Amazon, but not just focus on Amazon, but they can focus on Kickstarter as well.
Yeah, that's great. And, often when I think of Kickstarter, I'm thinking of this is a new product. It's a brand new thing that we're bringing into the world. We've had people on who do, board games and yard games and things like that. With your clients, do they already have products on Amazon and you're going to help them sell those same products on Kickstarter? Or is it when they launch new products, let's start on Kickstarter and go that way?
So the reason why Amazon seller is like the go-to guy, the go-to business that will help, because most of them, they understand what does it mean by private label. They know about private label. That's how they start on Amazon. And then they will go on and further develop the product into a better product. So if we look into a Kotler rule, so Kotler is like one of the guy who come up with a theory about there's 5 level of rule. It's about the core product benefit, and then you come with like a generic product, which is just a basic version of a product, and an expected product, which is like a feature that a customer expected to have, and an augmented product where your product is being introduced a variation or extra feature to help differentiation the product, and then a potential product where it provide like different feature rather than just a basic product, rather than just a basic material changes. It turn them into a product that can drive traffic and create viral content for. So those products that we can help client to develop those products and put it on Kickstarter.
Interesting. And that, how do you spell the name of that rule? Is that sort of a business
Kotler,
business concept?
Kotler, Kotler rule.
Kotler rule. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I like it. I had not heard of this. Okay, very cool. And then, what are you seeing then when someone, say they were selling on Amazon and now they're switching to Kickstarter? What kind of results can they expect, and sort of what sort of things do they have to do to have a good launch there?
So generally, like I think I can share something about the Kickstarter launch. That's how. What does it mean by our future-proof product launch formula? So what we do normally is like we have 5 different stages. So from preparation to pre-launch to lead generation to launching the product itself to post-launch. So to do it well, first we have to do preparation about how to launch a product first, as in like the brand have to come up with a brand story. using the right color, using the right copywriting to create the brand itself. So we do pricing at before that we do the pricing research, we do market research and analysis, and collect all the information about the competitors, and we want to define the audience, and then we will go back to the what we just talked about, your brand, right? So it's all about the brand first, the preparation first before you start launching on Kickstarter. And after that, we want to go for pre-launch. So pre-launch essentially, like once we have all the material we will go on to come up with a funnel. It could be a quiz funnel. It could be a $1 reservation funnel. It could be a tripwire funnel that is being used to convey the message to the backers on Kickstarter, and then we're using that to validate whether or not if there's any interest in your product, right? So we typically have a benchmark on different industry about how does that KPI should looks like for, let's say, in the travel niche, right? If we are selling the travel niche, the KPI, let's say the CTR is going to be around 3%. When it comes to clicking on the ad, or maybe when it comes to the video watch view rate, it's going to be around 55%, right? So we have been helping like 100 plus people launch product on Kickstarter to help Chinese seller to translate from just selling on Amazon to sell on Kickstarter first before they go on back to Amazon, right? And that's why we have those kind of like industrial data that we have collected from the past. So
yeah, I have to ask on the brand story piece. Is there a format you follow there, or what sort of brand story do people need to tell on Kickstarter?
So the brand story consists of your brand tone, and then your brand graphics. So it depends on like what kind of like audience that you're serving, right? You want to use a affirmative tone, or you want to use a witty tone, and then you go on to create your own brand color and story to really gauge the audience that you're serving, right? And that is how our team will be able to step in to help you to craft the brand story before even you develop your product, because we have already done the research before then.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious also, those pieces you mentioned, sort of the copywriting and things like that. Are there things you found that really work well? Is it in the headline? Is it in the video? Is it in the bullet points? Talk to us a little about copywriting too.
So when it comes to copywriting, funny thing is like, of course, like we have a lot of formula about that. Like we have PSD, like problem, desired solution, and then we have like ADID, like all those kind of format is about copywriting. But then when it comes to Kickstarter, sometimes they just don't follow the rule. But of course, like those copywriting that when we have to convince backer to back you is all happening in the video. And that's why when I said like they don't really follow the rule, because the video is the most important. Video could be without the copywriting in there, but then the video is more on the 5-second hooks, right? Any copywriting follow the same rule, 5-second hooks, trying to channel the demand from the existing market. On Kickstarter, the reason why it doesn't apply the rule, because sometimes that demand doesn't exist in the existing market, and that's why you cannot channel back into Kickstarter. And you are really creating demand. So there's two things that could happen. One thing, the first thing when you're trying to create a demand is either that you have to really capture the benefit and feature in the video, and that's why your landing page in Kickstarter is all about amazing graphics, benefits, and feature, and also the credibility that you have done with the influencer. And after that, we will slowly test out with the audience the scroll rate on Microsoft Clarity. And before we even decide how should your campaign page structure, we do the pre-launch first, right? And in the pre-launch page, we'll just try to use any formula that we have there, and then we'll just see how does they scroll in the landing page. If they scroll 50%, they stop, and then we'll A/B test it again to put the element from the bottom to go to the top. And As a result, you will slowly understand that, okay, this is how our audience resonate. They want to know about the solution first, and then they dive into the detail to talk about the problem and solution. There's no set rule until we really use data to prove what works the best for them. And then we will go on from using the pre-launch page, the data that we get from the pre-launch page, and put it into the Kickstarter page.
So there's a page before that, before the Kickstarter page, that enables you to do some screen tracking, basically. Back in the day, we used to use Hotjar. It seems like a lot of people are using Microsoft Clarity now. It sounds like that's the one you're doing.
It is, yeah.
Does it matter? What do you guys use? What are you guys building that pre-launch page with? Is there a tool you like?
So in pre-launch page, we use ClickFunnels, and then we also have swipe page as well. So there's a two page that we normally use. Swipe page is like Unbound. They offer AMP, but an AMP doesn't really work nowadays. And that's why we went to ClickFunnels. It's just the same thing. It's all about we are getting the fastest speed possible funnel. Whoever can provide that with us, then that will satisfy our need.
Interesting. Using ClickFunnels then for that pre-launch page, getting the interest, then we may send people then to the Kickstarter page. That's pretty interesting. Does someone need a big list to launch on Kickstarter? Are they mostly running Facebook and Instagram ads? How are you doing this testing? Where's the traffic coming from?
So there's several topics that we can gauge. Running ads is a must because Facebook, Instagram, they always contain the most of the Kickstarter audience, aka the crowdfunding audience from Indiegogo and Kickstarter. The way that we channel traffic, there's two ways that we normally do. Group infiltration from Facebook group. That's the first layer. As in, like, as an owner, you want to go onto different groups that you're on, and then you want to promote or not really promote, rather you go on this, become a conversation starters, and then keep telling them what are the newfound solution that you find out, and then gather the product tester and then put them into a community of your Facebook group, right? So from infiltration to get them into your group and then really talk to them. Slowly you build your product according to their taste. They feel like they are part of your group from 0 to 1, and then they want to back your project when they are committed. So that is the one of the most organic way that we've seen that is working the best to really use it without ad to get them to engage with your product. Other than that, we run Facebook ad, Google ad, YouTube ad to channel the audience from different level of people that we are speaking to. If this is a cold traffic, we will just talk about, we will dissect all the interests, either using custom segment or by website or by interest or by in-market audience. And then we will channel them into different kind of ad copy and hooks and creative that we are trying to do. So it's all about a lot of A/B testing in the creative side, hook size, and then once we finish the A/B testing on those side, on so-called the headline and creative, then we will try to do the prospect for more audience. And after that, when we think we are ready, to launch, we will try to scale the campaign when we really launch the campaign on Kickstarter. So during the pre-launch, as I said, all the funnel that we're running is all about just prospecting and testing the message. And then you just brought up a important question about how many email lists do they need before they launch on Kickstarter. So a lot of people, they come to us, they don't have an email list because they sell on Amazon. But then those advanced Amazon seller, they already have a list because they maybe have a product insert or they have insert card from a PDF. So we will use those lists to help them to launch the email campaign to test out whether or not they are engaging. If they're not, then they will have to go into just a pure lead generation with us, and then we will just use those leads to further nurture them, and then we'll try to get them into the Facebook group to get them engaged, and then we'll convert them afterward. So what we are seeing right now on Kickstarter is around 9% on conversion. Sorry, on open rate, and then around. Sorry, let me rephrase that. We were 19% on the open rate, and then 7% on the on the conversion rate. So it's funny. It's like it's really hard to gauge the conversion until we put the referral link from Kickstarter into the email, and that is how we are able to use data to really understand what is the engagement rate and the conversion rate, each of the step in the funnel, and we're able to convert them step by step by nurturing. Whereas on Shopify, it's different because even if you know about Shopify and WooCommerce, like I bet you use Klaviyo, you have an email marketing agency. They track it the tracking in there is way easier than what we do because it directly connects to API and then they knows about where is the step they drop off. Whereas on Kickstarter, when you send an email, you can't track them until when you're live. And that's the difficulty that we're talking about here.
Yeah. What strikes me about this, Dylan, is it's such a long funnel of we're not just running cold traffic right to the Kickstarter page and expecting them to give. It's like we're kind of bringing them into the story, the whole process. You described that, there's Facebook groups, there's Facebook ads. We're bringing them in. They're getting on a list. They're learning more. There's a pre-sale page. It's quite a while before we actually send them to the Kickstarter page. So it's many steps. I assume people are falling out as you go there. So it strikes me of just what a project this is to do a product launch like this. I'm curious, do these need to be, one of a kind, totally brand new, creative and unique products? That's kind of what I associate with crowdfunding and Kickstarter. Or can they be a little bit more like everyday objects? Like I imagine that to get interest on Kickstarter, there's got to be some unique hook about the product itself. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah. So I'll just give you a straight answer. Yes, it has to be something unique. And no, I'll give you an example. Why is the no? Because back in 2008 and 12, there's a baking mat. Sorry, a baking mat without the handle. Right. They got around like 30K in sales. And then in 2018, there's another brand launching the same thing. They comes with a baking mat with handle, and then they were able to generate 300K. By knowing this, just adding a handle on a baking mat, they are able to just create a new demand in the market that is not a new product. So if a baking mat can do that, imagine anyone who is selling on Amazon right now, that the product they have there, they come to us, we come in and help them develop a new product, either in variation, either in size, or either in different kind of like material, right? And then there's also like packaging. Maybe there is like a texture, or maybe there is like shape as well in the product in making. So we help them to refine the whole product and then become a unique product. Because a unique product is a perception to different people, right? If people knows that this is a bottle, oh yeah, there's a new campaign just launched. They are just a bottle, but then it comes with a MagSafe, right? A bottle with a MagSafe, it means that when you're doing gym right now, you can film yourself doing a gym, or it can be just a short stand-up tripod. That's all they do, and then they generate like 300K in order certain because it's just like an augmented product according to the Coda rule on the level 3 level. It's just like a minor tweak and become a new product. So imagine the history of the bottle transformation. It was just a container. From a container, become a container that is foldable, container into different material, into glass, into metal, into aluminium, right? And then one level up, it's going to be another augment product, become like a tea infuser bottle with a storage, right? And now we have a new product that is just a bottle without all the fancy thing, but just adding a MagSafe on top. So product can always be altered. That's what I would say. We can alter them in a way that people is convinced that it's useful for them. Even it's just like I'm just gonna just name right now. Just a pen, okay? Just a pen, right? We can just order this into a 2 pieces and then connect them with a magnet. And then I would say between the magnet, we can customize into a modular thing, as in like they can attach a Hello Kitty for children. They can attach a flashlight. for a tactical use, those sort of things. So one of the tips and hacks here is using NFC. So we have been trying to helping our client to include NFC in everything, in backpack, in jacket, in any magnetic wallet that they have there. So
is this to track the location on smartphone? Is that the idea?
No. So about right. But the NFC is more on like you can have them to use your iPhone shortcut or to have them to perform a task. For example, I have an NFC in the pen. I will just tap them and then it will just turn up. You will just open a website. Let's say a website I constantly use. Or I can just tap them to turn on the timer for 20 minutes. So I can preset the NFC into a product that I want to use it in my own way. Right. So it's an action that you can set, you can program the NFC into. And it's just like an app that you can open and then you can just program them. It's not like you have to program it in a programming language, right? So that now your product from a pen, now it became a smart pen. And that is the auto way on try to always change your product in different way that your research is supposed to tell you what are people searching for, and then you can turn that into the way the trend that is coming up.
I love that. So any product, even something quotidian and everyday, you can make it new, you can make it unique by adding some component. That's pretty interesting with the NFC. I like that. Really great thoughts here. Dylan, who's a great person to reach out to you and where can they find you?
They can you guys can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, Dylan Lam, or just type omirank.com, omirank.com, and then you'll probably be able to reach out to us.
All right. Sounds good. Well, Dylan Lam, thank you for coming on and sharing what's working in e-commerce.
Thank you. Thank you again.